Hey guys, this is Ankit and welcome to the Google Cloud Platform Task Series. We'll do a list of basic tasks to get ourselves familiar with the Google Cloud provider, that is GCP. We will follow the DevOps Engineer and SRE learning path, which is also available at cloudskillsboost.google/paths. You can always visit my repository, thecloudterminal01/learn-devops to get more details. So for today's task, we have the following objectives and we'll be taking around 12 to 15 minutes to complete all these subtasks. So let's begin. So this diagram illustrates what we are trying to achieve. We'll create a minimal Python app, deploy it to App Engine. We'll then deploy it to Google Kubernetes Engine. And finally, we'll deploy the same to Cloud Run. We'll go through this entire process end to end. So this is our minimal Python Flask app. We just have one route where we are displaying Hello DevOps fans. It has associated template files present over here. So this is the corresponding Docker file and this is the requirements.txt file. The other files, that is app.yaml and Kubernetes manifest.yaml, we can ignore them now. I will tell about their significance when we need them. So let's clone this project in the GCP console. Let's build this application locally and host it in the web preview. So the build is completed. Let's host it on port 8080. So this is up. Let's check the web preview. So we are able to see the application and run it locally as well on the GCP console. Let's create the YAML file now, which we discussed earlier, that is app.yaml. This file is required for App Engine, and in this file we have only one property, that is runtime. Now in our next task, we'll deploy it to App Engine. So I'll first create App Engine application. Let's wait until this is completed. So App Engine application in our project has been created. Let's check the same in the console. I will duplicate this tab. Let's spin this and visit App Engine. So we have validated the changes via console as well. Now let's deploy the version 1 of our app using the console again. Let's wait till this is completed. So the deployment is completed. Let's visit this URL. And we can see our changes as well. So this is the version 1 of our app. Let's make changes in our application now and deploy the second version of our app. Let's deploy the second version of app using this command. And let's wait till this is completed. The deployment of version 2 is completed now, and this is the URL. If we go to the previous URL and refresh, we don't see these changes. So let's go back to App Engine and go to versions. We will see that there are two versions of our application, and the first version is serving 100% of the traffic. Let's visit version 2 first. And this is where we see the changes that we just did. Let's make changes in our App Engine now so that version 2 of our application becomes live. So we'll go back over here and we'll select split traffic, and then we'll select version 2 and click on save. Note that this is where we are allocating 100% of the traffic to version 2. Let's wait for the changes to get applied. So the changes are live as well. So let's visit the first URL and check whether version 2 of our application is live or not. So I'll refresh, and there you go. We see the second version of application becoming live. Now let's move on to the second subtask where we want to deploy the application to Kubernetes. So let's go back to the dashboard. We'll click on Kubernetes engine. Let's open this in a new tab. Let's create a cluster. We will select the standard mode. Let's keep everything as default and click on create. So our Kubernetes cluster is created. Let's connect to this cluster. I'll go back to the Cloud Shell and run this. So we are able to connect to the cluster as well. Let's make some changes in our current version of app again and deploy it to Kubernetes cluster. Now let's build a new version of our app by using gcloud build command. Let's wait for this to get completed. So the build is completed now. Let's go to container registry and validate. So the image was pushed almost 3 minutes ago. Now let's deploy this new image into our Kubernetes cluster. In order to do the deployment, we will use the following manifest file. In this file, we have two Kubernetes resources. The first one is Kubernetes deployment and the second one is service. And we will need to replace this image tag with the tag of the image that we just created. So let me go back and copy the image tag. And make changes in the manifest file. Let's apply these changes now. Let's wait for the external IP to get created. So the changes are applied. Let's visit the external IP of the service. And we are able to see the changes that we just did. So that validates the second task which we had to do. Now let's deploy another version of the application to Cloud Run. So I'll go back to the console and make changes in the main.py file again. Let's build this image using the gcloud build command. We'll wait until the image build is completed. Now let's move to Cloud Run and deploy this image. We will create a service, select the image. We will select the Cloud Run image. Let's select the latest one. Let's keep the max number of instances as 6. We will allow the unauthenticated invocations, and we'll keep everything in container connections and security as default. And let's create. So the deployment is completed. Let's visit the URL and see whether our new version of app is live or not. So our new version of app is live, and the changes that we did for Cloud Run are there as well. This validates our last subtask. That's it for today. See you in the next video.